What's up everyone, it's Alex here, and I finally got my hands on a Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, and I'm really starting to like this thing as it's a pretty capable device that is, I'm going to show you that we can do some pretty good Gamecube, Wii and PlayStation 2 games on here. Some thoughts on the device is it's pretty slim, pretty pocketable, pretty cool, feels good to use. I'm not the biggest fan of the stick placement, and I think the L2 and R2 buttons are a bit stiff, like trying to use them with your fingers on either side. Feels like you have to have a downward motion all the time, and when you're trying to get comfy and you have to have your fingers round it a certain way. It's a little nitpick, as well as the speaker placement on the back here on the rear shell. The way I rest my little fingers here sometimes underneath, sometimes I block the sound, but you know, nitpicks. But here we have a $150 device, £150 for me, and excuse me, what it's capable of is pretty fantastic. And I've been thinking about what kind of video I want to do, and to be honest, I want to get straight into GameCube, Wii and PlayStation 2. And also this is Shin Retro theme with Pegasus. This is my front end launcher. This is what I've been using for my Odin for a really long time now. And let's just go through these for a moment so you can play Android games. I've only got AM2R at the moment, runs really nice. This isn't going to be like a full like techie kind of guide, but as soon as we get to that emulation, we'll start going through some of the ins and outs. MAME works fantastic, so does Game Boy Advance, as RetroArch would. We'll look at GameCube in a moment. 3DS is a bit hit and miss, but it's a mix of smooth and frustrating stuttering here and there. I personally had a good little test with A Link Between Worlds and Super Mario 3D Land. Both kind of playable, but both have issues. Maybe I'll do a video on those another time. N64 is great, as is DS, NES, Switch will work. Celeste and Sonic Mania run really well, for example, but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is not currently with the current build that I have. I get to the title menu and it just does not boot. Doesn't let you play. PSP is fantastic, and I was thinking about this earlier, and I was playing most of these games in OpenGL. Now, when you're looking to fiddle around with some of these games, you're going to be using Vulkan for your back end. PlayStation, fantastic. We'll get to PS2. Saturn's pretty good too. Genesis, Sega CD. Dreamcast is excellent. And I've got a whole bunch of games here I would have liked to show off, but they all run really well and they don't need any tweaking. Super Nintendo and Wii. So, let's get straight to it, because this has been pretty fun. So these are the emulators I have. This is regular Dolphin, this is Dolphin MMJR, and Dolphin MMJR2. For the bulk of these games, we're going to be using Dolphin MMJR, but as far as I can tell for now, with the games I've tested, I've had to play Zelda Twilight Princess in MMJR2, because you get to Hyrule Field and it will just crash. Well, not necessarily crash. It'll just be a black screen and you can hear some like ambience and it'll just never progress. So let's get started. Now, first I'm going to show you the base settings I have. I like to call them the base settings because these are the settings for the actual app. So we're just going to run through them very quickly. I have dual core set on. I have emulated clock speed set to 100. Maybe don't need that on by default because we're going to tweak them by game. We have some default stuff. Just going to breeze through it, and if you ever need to look at it, just pause the video. By default, I have OpenGL set. Now, the only reason I've done that is because I like to see it first and then compare it to Vulkan. And Vulkan is usually going to be the one that is going to be working best for these games. But for a few games, I think I noticed OpenGL was just slightly better, so I left it there. Shader compilation mode is left at synchronous, but there might be a couple of games where setting it to asynchronous might make it better. I've left backend multi-threading because if I just ever change to Vulkan, then it might help. A couple of games I might have checked and turned that off just in case to see if it improved things. Get to enhancements. I'm trying to get 1.5 for resolution, but sometimes I've had to bump it down to 1. Not bothering with custom textures. But there is one game where there will be custom textures, and I will be showing that soon. These are just left off just as they were. I went through this again earlier and I was like, why do I have that ticked? Because it can cause graphical errors and others, but I've not noticed that just yet, so I left it ticked. So I'm going to leave it ticked just in case. And widescreen hack is on. There are certain games I have applied a widescreen patch to the file itself, in which case I've turned it off for that particular game. And now we go to hacks. A lot of these you can tweak whilst you're in the game. So I think a bunch of these I've left on by default. Some of them, recommend you to be unchecked. Some recommended checked. And that's basically it. So let's start getting through some of these games. So we're going to start off with 1080. And you'll see the trend here that I check the video backend. It's in Vulkan. I don't think anything's really tweaked there. But once we get into the game, so I'm just going to load up my save states because that'll save us so much of time on this video. Then when we scroll down and look at the quick config, I can show you what's been ticked and not ticked. Here we have override emulated CPU clock speed set to 35%. A bunch of these games I've picked 35% because it's a sweet spot. If you take it lower, the game will start to slow down even when the numbers tell you they're good. 35% was like the lowest number I found to be giving you extra frames without slowdown. So let's have a little look at 1080 here. Also, a lot of these games I've changed the controls. I can't be able to. So you can see I'm using the stick at the moment. I think in this game I probably want a little bit more accuracy in my movement, but the most comfortable I find myself playing this device is when I'm just using the D-pad and the buttons. So there's several games where I've swapped the control stick for the D-pad, and that works really well for me. Whoa. We're going to be looking at a lot of games, so I'm going to be moving at a particular pace. Let's have a look at Burnout 2. We have Vulkan backend for this one. If there's anything I might have remembered that I've changed here, I will probably remember it when I get to the game. So let's go in. I forgot to load state, sorry. And in this game, we have many things ticked, and the CPU clock speed set to 45. There's probably a reason I've done that. And for the most part, this game's been running fantastic. There's a couple of dips here and there. So honestly, if something isn't like immaculate, not running fantastic, that's when we move over to MMJR2 and just see if it runs better there. So it could be the case that I go to a different racetrack in this game and start experiencing a lot more slowdown for one reason or the other. And at that point, we should probably take a look at the game in MMJR2 and see if it works better there. I was hoping to get some boost, and then you can see the car like racing around and not really experiencing slowdown still. But to be honest, as soon as I get boost, I'm probably going to crash. Here we go. Some oncoming. Crap. This is one of those games I shouldn't have widescreen on because the lights on the car do not match up where they actually belong. Cornwall Money miss. Oh, I screwed it up. Oh, come on. Oh no, I'm just gonna crash. Yeah, oh, that's not it. That's Oh, come on, I clipped the corner. But yeah, that one's running really well. Next game we're going to have a look at is F-Zero GX. We got the Vulcan back end again. I don't remember if I changed anything here. Something funny about this game actually is that, well, we'll look at it in a sec, is we got lots of things ticked, but we're not actually overriding the CPU clock speed. So I picked this track because I've heard that it can be one of the hardest to emulate, and this has been running flawlessly. It surprised me actually. Even when you sort of go really crazy, you get some dips, but it's mostly running very, very smooth. That's really impressive for this device. Now it's possible I could, like, yeah, let's have a look at the clock speed. Let's turn that on. I feel like I'm getting a couple of dips there with that on. So I must have turned it off for a reason, so I'm going to trust myself there. Now there is one problem where I'm doing a time attack, so there's no other cars on the track. Also, if you start up the game and go to the title menu and stuff, there are some like really like glitchy moments there where it's slow for seemingly no reason, but once you get into the game, it's mostly fine. Now for that one, I'm going to double check what my resolution is, because I have a feeling I set that one to 1. I did, yeah. So in that case, that probably helped a little bit, like help with about 5 or so frames. Next game we're going to have a look at is Luigi's Mansion. I'm pretty sure this is it's OpenGL. Let's dive in. So here we have a 70% clock speed. Or did I not load the save? So I've got my it's alright, that'll happen at the start. Actually, I didn't experience that chandelier coming down before. Is that supposed to be a ghost? So this is a game where I've set the control stick to the D-pad. I don't know what to do. It's glitching a bit there. I'm wondering if I should put it to Vulcan, but I tried it once and I was like slightly under the impression that OpenGL was a little bit better. So I've tested a lot of games, but I've not exactly tested some of them as thoroughly as they should be tested. So several of these games you want to take with a grain of salt, because at some point it could get to a section where it's not actually going to work very well. With some of these games you should always check the wiki, like the Dolphin wiki online, because then you can actually find out if there's problems with the game on the emulator on like anything, PC, whatever, because sometimes that is the case. Same with PlayStation 2 titles. Ah, crap. On PCSX2. Oh yeah. Aww. No. Gotcha. So yeah, not completely sure if I should be using Vulcan on this one. connected to this place. Oh yeah. Chris Pratt is in Luigi's Mansion 4. Cool. That game's working very well. Next thing we're going to have a look at is Mario Kart Double Dash. This is Vulcan, but I'm just going to double check what resolution I put the game in. So we're at 1.5. Cool. This has been running particularly well. Going to quick load that. And when we check the quick config, 50% clock speed, that stuff ticked. This is Luigi's Mansion as well, and this game both have widescreen patches applied to the game. I have a video from way back on my Odin where I talked about how I applied these patches. They're like Delta X patches that you apply to the ROM itself. And basically there's a YouTube channel of this guy who's made all these patches, and you just find the game on his YouTube, look at the video description, and yeah, apply it to the ROM. But you can't apply it to a already compressed ROM. You have to get a like original ISO, and then once you've applied the patch, you can compress it further afterwards. And it's all stuff I forget to talk about because, so I did loads of videos on the Odin, but if you're someone new to this sort of thing and you really like the idea of the Retroid Pocket 3, when it comes to putting games on the internal storage or an SD card, you want to try and save as much space as you can, and that's when compression is going to come in. So, whoa, big Bowser. So in that case, it might be converting ISOs, bins, queues. So basically PS1, PS2, Dreamcast, and some other stuff. Sega Saturn 2 .chd files, which save a ton of space, honestly. You can almost save like 50% memory just by compressing to CHT. Anyway, I've been chatting through this game and I've like barely noticed any like serious slowdown. Cool stuff. Now, Metal Gear Solid is one that works better in Vulcan, but there's graphical problems. Let's take a look at this because I want to show it. So we're going to dive into Metal Gear Solid. And you can see that it's it's funky out here. I was testing it downstairs in the starting area before you get on the elevator. That's interesting, because it was 60 frames down there, but there was all these like graphical problems, like a corner of the screen looked odd, the flash red there, yeah, it was doing that. So let's go back and put that back to OpenGL, because that's the one that was working for me. So graphics settings, Vulkan, OpenGL, save, and let's load up that save state. So I should have been getting about 30 frames here. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's better. It's strange though, because down the elevator, Vulkan was doing 60, but there was all these graphical problems. I wanted to try this in MMJR2, but it kept crashing, so I gave up on it. So, a bunch of stuff ticked. We're at 75% clock speed for this one. Yeah, so it's weird. I can't... Why is it doing that? It's walking slowly. Do I need to calibrate this joystick? Huh? That was weird. So, I can't remember if Twin Snakes is meant to be a 60 FPS game, and wow, the white balance. Look, I'm gonna show the white snow, and my hands just glow orange. Oh my god, what's that about? I'm actually not sure if this is loud enough for the video. A surveillance camera. What frame rate are we getting? It should still be about 30. No, no, you didn't see my little tippy toes. Don't shoot me in my ass. Okay, I am not going to crawl through this whole vent. That is not good entertainment. Oh, and for some reason the codec thing is blue. It's been a long time. Okay, that's running really well. Okay, Metroid Prime. This is one I tested quite early when I got this. And then when I started learning how this device works best on here. So here we go. Vulkan. I really wish I could remember if there's any other little settings I might have accidentally tweaked. Because sometimes you can look in like enhancements, for example, go down, and you might see like one option that might provide something, but for the most part, I don't think I've changed those. I'm just going to double check the internal resolution. I've set it to 1x. And, oops. Let's dive in. This is a game I finished on my Odin, and I've carried all my save data. I basically ported most of what was on my Odin onto this device. And I'm going to look at the settings here. So here we have... There's a common trend I'll have here where I have like these 4 ticked, these 2 not ticked, and then so we've got emulated clock speed at 50% here. And honestly, Metroid Prime has been working a treat on this. At first it was really bad, and now it's all running pretty damn smooth. Only with just some like little slow load times here and there. So let's see how this is like. Yeah, a little bit of stutter there. When we switch from our guns, they do take a little while to load in. I remember those being a lot smoother. If we go into ball mode, you can expect a bit of stutter there, but that's pretty good. So, I remember this and Metroid Prime 2 having a couple of problems on the Odin Pro. And I can't remember why, but I did play all of this on the Pro and it ran really well. But when I started Play 2, I remember it being a bit slow at the start. And now I'm really curious if Metroid Prime 2 would work somehow better on this, because this has a, I think it has a Mali GPU, which is better for Vulkan backend. But yeah, I'd love to play Metroid Prime 2 again. It's been a very long time. I don't actually think I finished it when I was a kid. I do remember on the Odin, when you come into this room, it actually would slow down a fair bit, depending on what override clock speed you had, and I think I had it about 70 on there. This is so cool, man. This is really cool. I hope this performance is like consistent throughout the whole game like this, because it's really damn good. Alright, had a good look at that one. Next thing I'm going to have a look at is Paper Mario. So I have a save here, but I want to show something. So, wait, I'm going to have to remember something. So we are in Vulkan. We have turned on load custom textures and prefetched custom textures. So if you Google Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door HD textures, you'll find a forum, and on that forum you can quite easily down HD textures. They're about 300 megabytes uncompressed. If you put them into the folder that you need to on this device, I did a video on this a while ago. I'll see if I can pull up the information and put this stuff in the video description. But the reason why we want HD textures in this game is because there's this thing that happens in the game when the characters twist as paper. It's a weird effect, but it slows down a lot. It's really bizarre. And I'm not going to load my game. I'm going to try and speed through the beginning, because you get on this boat and then the boat will turn, and this is the first time the turn effect happens. And I want to be able to show you what that looks like with the HD textures on and the settings we have on as well. So lots of ticks, these two on, and 35% speed. So let's start a new game so that I can let's call him Bob. Yeah, Bob's fine. And we're just going to speed through the start here. Hopefully it won't take too long, but you also get a nice little idea of what the game runs like from the start. A bit of a change to me just loading save states all the time. This game also has a X-Delta patch for the widescreen, which just looks beautiful on these devices. Sometimes when you use the widescreen hack, it doesn't always translate perfectly. Works well on some games, not all of them. And this is a really pretty game. It's just so vibrant and nicely done artistically. Never played it though. I played Paper Mario on the N64. I played Super Paper Mario on the Wii, which we're going to have a look at later too. And oh, those effects. I remember this being on the Odin as well, but that might be something to do with the widescreen. So let's not forget as well, we're also only using MMJR for all the games I've tested so far. I've had this device for 2 days now. I actually pre-ordered it when the orders... So it went live at about midnight, I think, or midday some weeks back. I got mine about half an hour into those orders. But I chose 4px delivery. And I only just got mine 2 days ago. I wanted to do a video yesterday, but I wasn't feeling very well. But it was good because I actually got to continue testing and do more on here. This has an internal storage of 128 gigabytes. I also have a SD card in here, which is 256 gigabytes, and that's full of PS1 and PS2 games. And then today, I actually tried to make a video twice, but everything I looked at was just taking too long. I was looking at retro games, I was talking about the device. I thought, this is boring. Okay, look at that. That was pretty quick. I've seen that really bad in some places. I was like, no, let's just get straight to the really fun stuff. The reason why this device is worth the money. So yeah, that twist happened and it was great. And I'm hoping that will be consistent throughout the whole game, because I've heard some people play this game with that effect, and usually instead of it just goes, it takes a little while, and it's not good. So I don't want to dive too deeply into that game, or we'd be here all day. Let's have a look at Pikmin. I'm assuming this is Vulcan. Sure is. And I've got a save state. This is a game I played when I was younger. I never played 2 or 3. And here, lots of stuff ticked. 50% clock speed. This is a game that is hard locked to 30 frames. So we really don't need to push performance here. I haven't played this in so long, but what I do remember is it is strangely addictive. I'm just as captivated as you are. Oh, what is she? I should have read. There you go. There you go, buddy. You see what I mean about me resting my little fingers on here, just sort of, yeah. And it's like, they do sometimes cover the speakers. There's a C-stick in this game, and it's not the camera. Oh, that's how you move the Pikmin. Alright, I can't, but it runs very well. So that's Pikmin. Resident Evil I checked out. However, I didn't check this out after... yeah, I'm going to definitely put Vulcan on there. Although maybe I'll find out why I didn't. So let's jump in there. Ding, 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 ding. I hope that clicking isn't driving anyone crazy. So let's... oh, no, don't save. What we got ticked here? That stuff, 70% clock speed. Seemingly running very well in Vulcan. It's dipping down a bit. Blood.
See if you can find any other clues. I'll be examining this. Let's just hope it's not Chris's.
Whose blood is this? You gotta love old Barry, man. Best character in all of Resident Evil. Although, I'll be honest, I am a Wesker fan. It's so dark though, everything's shiny. I do love the idea of it being late and you just sort of lying in bed playing a horror game. And it's spooky. So, you know, with Resident Evil 7, they kind of captured that survival horror feeling again. But it's a good game. But you gotta admit, Resident Evil 1, and particularly this version of it, is pretty fucking spooky and weird. I swore. Hey, good stuff, Resident Evil. SSX3. This one works really well. So double check again. Vulcan backend. What resolution is this one at? 1x? I could probably bump that up, but I'm not going to risk it because it's already running pretty nicely in here. So let's check the quick config. Everything ticked. 50% clock speed. Sometimes some of the stuff I've ticked I don't need ticked, but it's working, so I just leave it on. And this just runs really well, man. It's very impressive. Oh, I should be moving with the stick, I forgot. No, actually, you can move with the D-pad in this. It's odd, but you can. Yeah. Is this the Red Hot Chili Peppers? Is my video gonna get... make loud noises or I get my... Ow. Elise. Whatever. Part of the memories of these games is all this crazy music. This is a great game, man. I remember when I got this game, I was already like a pro at Tricky, because I used to like submit scores to magazines and things. And the first day I got this, I remember for about like 2 or 3 hours, I played the first level of this game, just over and over, getting as high a score as I could. I kind of miss that feeling. That's such a great feeling. Oh, I'm gonna lose my... Oh! Oh no, I lost it. Run's awesome, dude. Run's awesome. Next game I'm gonna have a look at is Star Fox Assault. Now this one should be Vulcan backend as well. I'm gonna double check and see if this is at 1x because I think it needs to be. Yeah, okay, it is. And we're gonna dive into that one. This is one I had a few problems with, so I was a bit surprised. We got 70%, everything ticked. And yeah, I swapped the stick for the D-pad in this one as well. Feels pretty good. Just feels more comfortable to play. So something else I've been thinking about is, I love my Odin. But the more I've been playing this, whenever I've been like going over to the Odin so I can like do some file transfer and get some things off it, I just start going, it's so big. It's so big and chunky. Oh cool, no slowdown. That's awesome. Oops, I was trying to fire a bomb. So I do actually see myself migrating to this for a lot of gaming. What the Odin has above this is, it might have better battery life, has a bigger screen. It does PlayStation 2 better, at higher resolutions as well. But it is heavier, it is chunkier. And it is, well the Pro is in particular, double the price. And I find this, even though it's just, you know, this, it's just a slab, but it is quite comfortable because it's so light and slim. No. Mario Sunshine? Mario Sunshine. Vulcan? Probably 1x, because this one's 1.5, alright. It was working well, so I'll leave it at that. We are gonna quick load. I think I'm just in Delfino Plaza, and everything ticked with 50%. Just gonna run around Delfino, and it has been pretty solid 30 frames. I don't think I've really noticed it dip. And this is pretty exciting. This is one of the games I thought that actually would be pretty hard to run. Vulcan backend is carrying this machine. Absolutely carrying it. Oh yeah, you can't do long jumps in this, can you? Oh, so annoying. Alright, let's go to the first level. I actually had a look in the second level, the pier, which did not slow down either, so... As part of me, it's tempted to see what the 60 FPS patch is like on this, but that is just... Yeah, that's probably not happening. Just curious to see it. Ow. Aw, I thought it was going to work. So I haven't actually been in this level. I'm curious to see what kind of frame rate we're getting. It is dipping a bit. 21%. If that's the case, then I think we should set the resolution to 1x. And to be fair, these lower resolutions look good on this device because it's not, you know, it's not even a 1080p screen. It's kind of odd resolution. That's for phones, pretty much. I think I read something that this is actually the screen for iPhones. So did we improve the frame rate some? So it's a bit slow here. I'm going to double check and see what 35% is like again here. Ugh, really slow. Let's maybe check about 70. Is great. So 50 was not actually... See, this is why it's good to test a few levels and get a feel from the frames, because now I've realized that 70 was the sweet spot and not 50. But 50 was working just fine. How do I leave this area? I think Sunshine is also another game I have a widescreen patch for. These games, they're so... When they look this good in widescreen on this little device, you think they're not as old as they actually are. I think Wind Waker is actually about 20 years old now. 20 years old. It's so weird, man. But, you know, it's kind of cool to think that my childhood was filled with such amazing games. Such a great time to experience them. Whereas today's games, they're either not for me or maybe a lot of them are kind of bleh. The two like biggest releases I've loved this year were Elden Ring and God of War. And not much else. It's these handhelds that have been carrying the torch for me. So actually I could probably put it back to 1.5x now, but I'm not gonna. To be honest, I don't really see the difference much, but depends on the game. Mario, use the ground pound. How do you look around? So cool, dude. Alright, Monkey Ball. Now, I have a good place to test Monkey Ball. So, there we have Vulcan. Just going to double check the resolution again. 1.5. I only tested one, I didn't test two. Damn. Alright, so here we have everything ticked 50%. That might be the case again, where actually 70% was better, but 50% has been working good. Just gonna roll around and look at this. Because this is quite a big area, it's actually a good place to... Ooh, there was some slowdown there. So, I'm gonna double check what I tested in Sunshine and put it to maybe about 70. Oops, that's 75. Can make the difference. They really need a plus minus button. They do. Alright, I've had to make a decision. So, there's a lot of Gamecube games. I think I'm going to have to make a different video for Wii and then a different video for PlayStation 2. Tough to say. Maybe 70 is a little bit better. I love this game, man. This minigame can, like, hold an entire night. You know a game is great when it just has a minigame that is more entertaining than the actual game itself. Wow, you suck. Let's have a look at just the main game for a moment and see what that runs like. Oops, went back too far. Yeah, because there's still several games I want to have a look at in for Gamecube tonight, and there are like several, well, more than several. There are. Oh, whoa! I saw like some slowdown. Let's split the difference and go about 60. I don't want to hurry up. Playing this on the capture as well. Yeah, there are a lot of PS2 games I want to have a look at. Not many Wii games, but there's some WiiWare as well that I feel like are worth checking out just because. I'm just going to ride right off there. Wee. So I did have a look at Tales of Symphonia. I know some people asked me a lot to check this out in the Odin, and I never did. So this might actually be the PAL version. I don't know if I intended to get the PAL version. So it's been running around 50 frames. I'm pretty sure this is Vulkan as well. Nothing really ticked, not even emulated clock speed. There's a monster here, so this was like a good test for that. Oh, the text is so slow. When I was testing this, it's like I just want to get through to some kind of battle or something. Never played this one. Out of all the Tales games, this seems like the one I probably would enjoy, maybe. I tried to play Tales of Arise, but I played about a third of it, and I just got bored. It did have a cool combat system, though. I just didn't like the characters or the story. So yeah, there's really not much else to look at in that game. So, you know, it's just going to be more town areas, battles. Pretty much does the trick. Alright, Zelda games. So, Wind Waker. With Wind Waker, we are looking at Vulkan. It might be 1.5x. 2x. Oh, yeah. I remember thinking this runs so well, I should probably jump this up to 2x. God, this white balancing. Sometimes this device looks better than this video is showing. I feel like this camera feels a bit more washed out. Not even emulating clock speed. No sync on skip. This game also has widescreen patch, I think. Ooh, nearly fell off. Obviously, I've only tested the starting area. If you start like fighting some monsters and things, maybe it gets worse. At that point, I'd turn down the resolution to 1.5 or 1. And maybe start messing around with that clock speed. But it just seems like this game runs really well. So cool. Oi! Did I actually want to swap L and R. It feels uncomfortable to push that down and move around. It feels like I lose my grip. So that's a problem I have with this device. I would rather have the lock-on button here, and so I can do that right now. Actually, I can go down to this and go to Gamecube input, emulated, and I can swap L for R and R for L, and save, and then load. So now I can use R for locking on, and L, which I'm probably going to use, no, L is now R, which is now for locking on, and R is now L, which I probably will not use as much. So that's cool. I would probably also in this game stick the stick onto the D-pad if I was going to play it more. Just because I feel like you don't super need fine movements in this game. You can use the camera more if you like. Let's do that as well, since it's just, you know, I've talked about it and I've already changed some controls. So we're going to go to Gamecube input. And then we're going to scroll down to control stick, where I go up, down, right, left. And then we're going to go to D-pad and use the stick instead. Save that. And load. So now I'm using the D-pad. It feels a lot more comfortable. Yeah, I prefer that a lot more. I don't feel like I'm really sacrificing anything in this game either. I've got the stick to sort of balance the movement anyway if I need to. I don't mind using the right stick so much because that's more of a natural place for me to do things. And yeah, cool. So we're going to have a look at Zelda last, I think. We're going to look at that in MMJR2. I could show both, actually. Simpsons Hit and Run's funny. Okay, so when you load Simpsons Hit and Run, there's a loading screen, and it's going to be stuck there for a while. Just let it happen. Just wait it out. Then when you get through to the game, just make a save state and just load it in. Here we got Simpsons Hit and Run. So this is Vulcan as well. Oh, I got rid of it. That can be annoying. Okay, so what we got? Not everything ticked and 70% clock speed. We're going to jump in Bart's rocket car. This game's on PS2 as well. I haven't tested it on PS2. Same with the Odin. Whoa, what's going on? Okay. For some reason the D-pad is like resetting the game. Oh crap. This has been very smooth. Oops, I keep thinking B is to reverse.
I'll get you, Bart, just like I got Charlie and Nam.
He like proper tries to run you down. Like, if you get out of the car, he just mashes. Principal Skinner is running down a child. This game is legendary. Look at him and go, look, I'm gonna run you down, Bart. Oh, it's so crazy. No, please don't. Oh my god. This game runs really well though. It's awesome because I know a lot of people like this one. I'm gonna get you, Bart, just like I got Charlie and Nam. Who's Charlie? And that does not sound like a bad guy's name. It doesn't sound like a Vietnamese name. Why did he kill Charlie? That's Simpsons Hit and Run. Viewtiful Joe also runs really well. I'm going to double check something because I think it's still OpenGL. Yeah, I think I decided OpenGL was better for some reason. 1.5x. Whoops. This one runs amazingly. Woo! Right up in the air. The graphics are solid, dude. Really cool art style. Very smooth. It's just I can't tell if it says 60 because of the text behind it, but it's really smooth. Oh. This is one of the games I actually wanted to play on the Odin and never got around to it for some reason. Really cool game. I remember loving this as a kid. Oh! Yeah, Henshin a Go-Go. Oh, I didn't see that. I'm looking at other stuff. I want to dodge him once. Oh no, I just got him instead. Whatever. What? That's really... Oh. He's trying to tell me it's slow. What? Yeah, we're gonna get it. Nice. Oh, you had to. God, that siren sound. It's literally just Devil May Cry. Whoa! There's a reason this video is now how long. It's because I just play the game. And the last one we're going to have a look at in MMJR properly is Wave Race. Again, another Vulcan game. Did I set this to 1x? I did. I'm really hoping there's not any settings I'm missing. It would be annoying if someone was like, oh, I copied what you did and it's not working the same. In which case I'd have to double check. So in here, that's the stuff that's ticked. 170% clock speed. That's what I've gone with for some reason. Yeah. Wait, I want to do a trick. Oh, I still got it. I can't remember. I only played this once. I did a really long tutorial. It took forever. I learned about 20 moves at once, and then I didn't play the game again. So I've forgotten everything. I'm boosting on the sand. And this is a game that plays at 30 frames. So this the settings I have made it very solid. Good one. Oh, thank you. Whoa. I'm sorry. It's really hard. I actually tried to play this game with the D-pad and that did not feel good. Not as good as this. You learned a turbo. I can't take that voice. Keep it up. Alright, so the last game we're going to test. First of all, I'm going to show you in MMJR. So this would be Vulcan as well. Yep. Probably at 1x. Can't be asked to check. And this actually runs nicely. So it runs at like 30-ish frames. But I'm going to show you why this isn't going to work in MMJR. I do have the Hyrule Hyrule Field speed hack. What was it called? And basically you have to add the action replay code to the INI, the actual game setting file you have in your, on the device. And then, like, because that area without this, the Hyrule trick is like 10 frames or less. Okay, so you can hear there's just like wind, but the area is not going to load. I actually left this going for a little while and it just did not load. I also took a save file where I had got to the field and then I put that in a different emulator. Then I put that save file on here. Then I loaded the save file whilst in Hyrule Field, and it still wouldn't work. So, fairly confident this isn't going to work in MMJR. However, go to MMJR2. And let me have a look at the settings I've got here, because different emulator, different rules. So it's probably Vulkan again. Yep. I don't think there was much I had to tweak there. Pretty much left it at default. There's no quick load in here. I don't like the UIs for these other emulators. So, oops. I'm going to quick load. Oh, it does this as well. And I'm in Hyrule Field. Oh yeah, I've set it to... I don't know why it keeps doing that. It keeps wanting to, like, ask for more RAM or something. So I'm just going to run back into the Farron Woods. And then we're going to run back. This is where I was with the wolf. And... oh. I don't know why it keeps popping up with that, but it works. Can't remember if I checked this on the other Dolphin emulator, but it is working here, working at a solid 30 frames per second. Let's have a look at the quick settings here. Whoops. Oh, there's nothing else to move there. It's all ticked. 1x resolution. Oh, not using that. And I'll show you the CPU clock speed I have set on this too. I played this on my Odin for a while. I did the whole of the desert as well, and I just stopped playing it. This was back in the summer, so I never finished my playthrough of this. But it's pretty stable 30 running around this area. And again, the game setting file for this version of the game on MMJR2 also has the Hyrule speed hack, speed fix. Why can't I remember the actual name for it? That's annoying. Damn, I wanted to use an arrow. I didn't think I was going to hit him. What the hell? How many arrows to the face? Poor guy. I've picked one of those up before. Exit emulation. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I found that the bottom of the screen is kind of annoying to use for touch. So this would have been in general at the bottom. Oh, it's not on. Really? Didn't need it on. Cool. So that's Twilight Princess running in MMJR2. Seems to be working just fine. And yeah, I apologize that at the start of the video I said I would be doing Wii and PlayStation 2, but this video is over an hour long. There was already a bunch of games I didn't even have a look at, but you can see from what I've done how to go about trying to get better performance for a lot of these games, and that they run pretty fantastically on the Retroid Pocket too. I don't think there's one bad one there. They all run really solid, and that's really impressive, you know. Even if you couldn't get Wii or PlayStation 2, that makes this device for £150, $150, pretty big deal. It's just a damn shame that they released the Retroid Pocket 3 only a few months ago and then released the Plus. Because I cancelled my original order, and I just think that's pretty sad for people who already bought one. I think a lot of people probably should have known better to wait before they pulled the trigger, but who knew that they were going to release this only 3 months after the original Retroid Pocket 3. But yeah, that's my video on GameCube games. I hope that was insightful, helpful, and maybe that would help you make a decision on if this device is for you, which comes in many colors. But I bought this device. These are all my own thoughts and impressions. I've not been asked to check this out. This is just something I'm curious about. And I don't think I even showed it in comparison to the Odin. Like, the Odin's a big boy in comparison. Also, if there's any custom buttons to come for this at some day, I'd be very interested in that. Very cool. Maybe I'll look into putting some caps on these sticks, but I quite like the portable nature of this. It's quite flat and very pocketable. I don't even think I want to buy a case or anything. Doesn't seem necessary. Anyway, super long video. I'll be back to do some Wii and PlayStation 2. I might start with PlayStation 2 first because it's the longest video I'll have to do. So thank you for watching. If you like that, give it a like, subscribe. There's a bell out there somewhere that notifies you of content. Yep. Thank you. Cheers. Have a good day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.